So we talked about at the start of this where you dive into display, right? And we talked about how it's a little bit more than banners now and the different types of ads, but now we're gonna get a little bit more down into the strategy, right? We're gonna talk about the top of funnel interactions. So it's about knowing your name. It's about creating that awareness and making that impression engaging enough to actually click on. So one of the things that people a lot of times don't realize is where display, even on social, right? Social is one of the display platforms you can contact in a lot of manners, but you're literally trying to actively pull this person away from something they're actively engaged in, right? So how hard is it to get somebody's attention when they're running down the street? Right? It's a lot harder because obviously they're in motion, they've got a direction, they've got even a goal that they're trying to get, and that's effectively what you're trying to do. This person is running by me, and I'm trying to reach out and basically get their attention without grabbing them and being violent or pissing them off, basically, right? So displays, it's gonna have a much lower engagement rate, but at the end of the day, it's about generating awareness, right? If you can actually form that top of mind awareness, you can get their name on the tip of their tongue, then their brand is going to be synonymous with either their product, the industry, with whatever, but that's what the ultimate goal is. We've seen it with Coke, I mentioned it with Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson, right? Johnson & Johnson is synonymous with baby powder. When you think of baby powder, you think Johnson & Johnson, right? They're getting sued right now, so we won't go into that. But you know, the ultimate details is you really, really want to create that awareness, right? You really want to make sure that they do form top of mind, which means when they think of your particular product, the first thing that comes to mind is your name and your brand, right? It's just like when I think of cola, half of the world refers to cola as Coke. That's generating that general awareness, right? So the other thing that it's really, really important that we do is we can get them to click on the ad, you know, is actually attaching that cookie so we can start following down that funnel in a much more engaged, valuable way. So one of the advantages and what we're going to teach in some of these top of funnel videos and the screen recordings is about generating, again, that impression through either images, videos, or content. And one of the things that I really, really like, and I'm going to expose some of the value points as we go down through this message, is YouTube. Because you can actually retarget those people on YouTube without having to attach that cookie. So if they've engaged with your video, your channel, even in your content, right? Even if they just watched a video, then it's attached that cookie to them, it's attached that impression where we can actually follow them down and make a much more calculated impact as we nurture them down the funnel. So let's dive into these screen recordings. Pay really, really close attention to the examples that I'm giving as well, because these are really going to help you set that initial impression, attach those cookies, and attach the necessary data points in order for you to really follow them around in a very, very calculative way. And again, the tighter we can get that, the better we can get our messaging through, the less touch points we can improve on, ultimately results in better conversion rates and lower cost to you and more revenue back in your pocket. So let's dive into the screen recordings right now, and I'll expose some of these tips and tricks and methods that I use in order to make sure people actually get some value out of running through that funnel instead of just having basically the fly on the wall.